So, first off we have the beginner's box set. That one right there. Featuring the first 3 episodes of Doctor Who ever. These episodes include An Unearthly Child, The Daleks, and The Edge of Destruction. So, let's start at the start with The Unearthly Child. Was originally broadcast on November 23rd, 1963 at 7 PM on BBC One. It starred William Hartnell as the Doctor, the first Doctor, the one of many. A basic summary of the plot would be that 2 teachers called Ian and Barbara grow suspicious of one of their students' intelligence and decide to investigate where her intelligence comes from. Their search takes them to a junkyard called Foreman's. There they encounter an old man and his granddaughter, the student, called Susan. The Doctor is furious that Susan lured them there by accident and decides to take them off into time and space because they know too much already. The very first TARDIS team arrives in caveman times. Forgot what that one's called. The Stone Age. That's the one. See? Right there. And they basically have to show the cavemen how to create fire or they will die. Which is bad. The things I like most about this episode, this serial, Unearthly Child, is the relationship between Ian and Barbara, the 2 teachers, because in the first episode you can really genuinely feel that they know each other and they really get along as well. I like that. It gives them a bit more depth, if you know what I mean. I love the time vortex effect at the end of episode 1 where it shows their faces like behind the time vortex as they travel through time for the very first time. I really like that part. One of the great things about this episode, I think, is the script, because Anthony Coburn, who actually wrote it, I think he wrote the cavemen really well. Even though I don't really like the cavemen in it, I think they were written really well for how they would act and behave. Like, Ian mentions that they don't know what kindness or friendship is, and I think that really would be true, because it's just basic savagery back then. One part that I really love, because it's so random and because it's a kids program, is the fact that in episode 3 the Doctor tries to cave in one of the caveman's head because he is slowing the team down. That's brilliant for a kids program. I mean, nowadays you get stuff like Ben 10 or I don't know, I don't really watch kids television anymore, as you can probably tell. Ignore the Pokeball there and stuff, yeah, it's not there. But in 1963, what must the kids have been like if that could be considered children's entertainment? I mean, that's just insane. Cave in a caveman's head. Because he's slowing you down. Unreal. I really like the attempt at the action scene in the Cave of Skulls in episode 4 between the 2 cavemen, Cal and Za. Remembered. All the different camera angles really makes it feel like fast paced and stuff like that, and it's really entertaining because it's just pure grit. They don't care about each other, just all out kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure I've said that before, I should really stop now. Things I didn't like. The creepy doll at the start. Seriously, watch episode 1, the very start. When you first see the TARDIS, look to the right. You will see the strangest doll ever. Hang on, I'll put a screenshot on right now. I know, that was scary. Something else I didn't like about the first episode, they made the Doctor seem really evil and, I may as well say it, an arsehole. Like when he tells Ian and Barbara about all this stuff and then just like basically kidnaps them. I guess it kind of goes in tow with the first Doctor's character, but I think that was a bit over the top for an introductory episode. As I mentioned before, I'm not very keen on the cavemen in this episode. I don't know why, I just really don't feel the with them, if you know what I mean. The acting is good, the acting is brilliant for the cavemen, but I'm not sure if it's the writing or the performance or the characters. They just don't really click with me. It's a mystery. Probably my biggest pet peeve for this episode, An Unearthly Child, which Dalek is graciously holding for us there, is the fact that if you listen to the sound effects of the birds in episode 3, they sound like a puppy crying for attention, and it's looped constantly for like 10 to 15 minutes. It's really, really annoying. It's just that was me sounding like a bird from the cave age, Stone Age. Just really gets on my nerves. Another thing I don't really like is when Ian is rubbing the sticks together to make fire. It's like, hang on, this is the stick, here's the other stick. It's like, it's supposed to, like, I guess, look like that, like he's rubbing it there, but when the camera turns around you can see it's just like that, and he clearly isn't rubbing the other stick, and yet fire is made anyway, so why not just rub the stick together like that? Hey, I know what you were thinking, and don't think about it like that. But yeah, that's it. That's what I thought of An Unearthly Child. Only 2 things are left. My personal rating of the episode out of 10, and who I think had the best performance in the episode. So we will go with the performance first, don't you think? I think all of them had the good points, but I'm gonna stick to the main characters like the Doctor and his companions for this because, well, I couldn't really remember any of the caveman names because they were quite forgettable. That's another thing for the dislikes. But yeah, best performance is William Hartnell as the Doctor. As an introductory episode, it was bang on. Seriously, the acting is brilliant from William Hartnell. William Russell as well, he gives quite a good performance as Ian, the first, well, who has been dubbed Doctor Who's first action hero. Don't know if that's true or not, but I guess we'll find out in the following episodes. Personal rating of this episode, this is completely my opinion, no one else's. No one has modified my opinion of this in any way. I would give this episode a 6 out of 10. As an introductory episode, it's really, really good, but as I've said, there is some problems I've got with it, such as the god-awful puppy crying noise constantly during episode 3, which is on a loop, and the fact that the Doctor is made out to be evil in the first episode. He's more of a villain of the first episode than the cavemen are of the other three. But yes, that was a review of The Empty Child. So, really, this is the end of my first episode of the review show that I still need to think of a title of. Until the Daleks.